Hoka hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of April the 28th, 2023. Alita Into the Badlands. Watch party and other Alita chats, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gunham, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, the Muskogee Creek from Denver, Colorado. And with me are Lee. He's in Fountain, Colorado. How's it going, Lee?
Going pretty good here.
Cool. And from the Shires in UK, we have Blotty. How's it going, Blotty?
Hey, Creaky. Hey, Lee. I'm good, thanks.
All right, good. Glad you guys could join us.
You know, I can't make it tomorrow, unfortunately, but I'll hop on today.
Oh, gosh.
It's annoying because the news is going to be blowing up tomorrow, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is. Matter of fact, we might even talk about the lid. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
It'll be about like 2 hours of just going through all the articles, even though they're all exactly the same thing. We've got to go over every single one.
Yeah, that's right.
And every single tweet will be there for 5 hours.
Yeah, that's okay though. We don't mind repeating stuff for our girl. That's for damn sure. We definitely we like giving good news about her. That's for sure. You know. So anyway, how's it going there in the UK, there, Blotty?
Pretty good. I was just finishing off. So I got the complete score of Alita ages ago, and I've just been putting it into a video. But I finally, because I wanted some of the flashback music. It's not really music; it's more atmosphere that was out of order and stuff. And I've just been too lazy to try and fix it. So now I've got it all together. I just need to decide if I want to add pictures or anything. And also, I also just had a panic attack because the tablet wasn't charging, even though it was plugged in. So I sort of half rushed over to the socket on the wall, and I head-butted the end of Alita's Damascus blade from my Queen Studios thing. I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't just break the sword, did I? Luckily, no damage was done, but I'm such an idiot. You got to be careful around that sword.
Well, yeah. Well, at least you didn't break it, so that's
I didn't. Thing. Thank God for that. I would have ruined my day. It's not as bad as that picture. Did you see that picture of someone whose bust was completely shattered on the floor?
Yes, I saw that.
That was traumatic seeing that. Can you imagine if that happened to me? I'd die.
That probably was Alex Lito, wasn't it?
That was what?
That was Alex Lito, wasn't it? Wasn't it his bust or?
I don't think so. I think he just posted it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, bummer.
Yeah, I probably spend
also with us
$3,000 on a new one.
Yeah, I would. Anyway, also joining us from the West Coast is Charlie Smith. How's it going, Charlie?
Fine. How about you?
Real good. What state are you in, Charlie?
What? I'm in Los Angeles, California.
Ah, okay. I thought you were in California, but I wasn't absolutely sure. So I bet the weather there is nice, like it always is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Charlie, part of my childhood, I grew up in La Puente, and in Pasadena too for a while. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't all that long ago, you guys. So anyway, well, it's good to have you on board there, Charlie.
Sure.
And Lee, how are things going down there in Fountain?
Not too bad. Finally warming up again.
Yeah. You know, it's weird. I don't know if it happened down there too, but up here I went to my strength training session, and it was like 64 degrees. And, I said, I better take a coat with me because you know how springtime in the Rocky Mountains are. So anyway, it's like 64 degrees. When I came out of strength training, it was snowing. It was unbelievable, Yeah, it's pretty weird. That's about a 40 or a 30 degree drop, in about 2 hours. So it was really something, So okay, so anyway, I guess we got the pleasantries out of the way there, and just to remind everybody, and we keep adding 20 to 30, sometimes 40 signatures every week to the petition. And this week, the Creek didn't forget to put that website there down in the chat. Oh, why that thing's off center down there? I'm not sure why, but anyway, it is. Yeah, this is our way of letting Disney know we want that sequel, and there's been a lot of buzz on the social media here the last week or two, about John Landau. No, we're going to talk about that more tomorrow, I guess, when we get into when we get on Radio Chaos. But
we can talk a little bit about it now.
Oh yeah,
we can't make it tomorrow. Charlie, are you going on the stream tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll try. I have stuff to do tomorrow. Was it 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock?
I can't make it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there's some real promising stuff happening now. I like John Landau. Now, I kind of agreed with your tweet, Lottie, where John Landau says, "Hey, everything's good, Alita Army." Okay, everything's good. When is everything going to be good? So, is it going to be 3 months, 6 months, a year?
Exactly.
When's it gonna be,
They can't keep saying all is good. We're working on it for the next 5 years. They've got to
yeah, exactly. Well. But it's still pretty encouraging though, that they've we got Angelus just joined us. It's pretty encouraging though that that they're moving on this. I mean, we're seeing a lot more activity on it than we have been seeing. So, we just keep our fingers crossed, I guess.
It's really interesting that
we're going to
all the big news the entertainment websites picked it up this time, whereas previously, even though it's basically he said basically the same thing as he said before, but none of them picked it up before. But this time they did. It's almost like there was some I don't know what's the word,
insider information.
Yeah, or Disney or something gave the word out. Can you Landau? The way the first article was sort of rushed out on the same day as CinemaCon, that can't have been a coincidence either. It was full of typos.
Yeah, that's right.
It's almost like John Landau said to the lady, "Oh, Alita fans must be worrying about CinemaCon. Quickly, get that bit of the interview out today."
Yeah.
That's
I know one thing. We're still going to be proactive ourselves about this. The Creek has scheduled another meeting of several folks on Monday afternoon here in the U.S. Where we're going to talk about I've got a little bit more into the presentation about some of the things we can do and something like that. And I'm going to make a recommendation about organization and stuff like that. So, but we're getting there, I think, and we're not going to just say, "Oh, good, they've got it, we can just forget about it." No, we're not doing that. We are going to keep pinging them, and we're going to keep doing what we can do, as little as it might be. We're still going to do it. So
we've got to get that.
And also with us.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Bloody.
Well, I was going to say we need to get that arm going. I think that'll be good because that will definitely be good PR.
Yeah.
If they say, "Oh, Alita fans have done such and such." One of the articles mentioned how we'd done various social media campaigns and stuff, and this would obviously be one that they can say. And they're currently raising money for a new hero arm from Open Bionics, which was given.
Yeah, we need to get on that.
Which will bring good attention to the first movie, which did that really good thing with Tilly, and we can hopefully get Tilly on board as well. But we've just got to get our butts in gear because obviously I'm excessively lazy. So sorry about that.
I know Charlie's been pushing us to get our butts in gear. He wants us to do that too, don't you, Charlie?
If you want your butts in gear, you got to get your Damascus blade out of your pants, laddie.
Let me explain it. The reason, I'll be honest, I'm sort of, how do I say this? Really getting bummed out. All the news I keep checking on Hollywood, they keep reporting bad news at Disney in chaos. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Thing after it says. I mean, have you for instance, the head of Marvel Studio, Feige? It said Iger called him in and said the Marvel cinematic universe is disappointing. I mean, I guess remember the Quantumania. Yeah. The report was you were expected to hit 600 million at the box office, and it's actually getting less than the original Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And so So that was supposed to be making money. Right now, it's at a loss, and they reported that in Variety. And it says, and it's a thing after. There was another one they had. That movie made huge. Did you see the report about 3 of their movies lost huge amounts last year?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, and the thing was, so it said that Iger is frantic because the stock market. They said, look, they fired what's his face, Chapek. because they were
that's
making
right.
10%, then they were down to less than 1% of sales for profits. It's just a huge
Yeah,
loss.
that's right. Yeah.
So he's
Yeah,
doing it. So what I'm saying is, and it says he's cutting like Matt, and he's cutting greenlit movies that he's already green. You know what I mean? I read that and I go, oh boy.
Yeah.
And I don't mean
sound like
Oh,
it's going to affect Alita. I don't think it will affect Alita.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't mean it, but I mean I think, my God, I would have sworn with Avatar doing such huge profitability, he could just walk in January and he'd say right away. But why don't we? The answer is, my guess is it's Disney. It's the problem is Disney's losing money, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
So I keep saying, can't we do something to help? To help James Cameron, a little something to, you know what I mean? And that's the reason I'm getting frantic.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do that, Charlie. We're gonna start doing our thing here, taking a little more proactive role. Not that we haven't been somewhat proactive already, but yeah, we need to be a little more organized with it, I think, is what we need to do. So anyway.
But the thing
let me welcome Angela.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, let me welcome Angelus, from Brisbane and Queensland, Australia. How's it going there, Angelus?
Calmly stuffing my face with breakfast.
Nice. Yeah, Angelus is the co-host, but I still like to welcome him, especially when he has to get up so early in the morning, because they're in the future there. So anyway, yeah, we hold those thoughts after we play the little video, and then go right into into kind of like a mini topic. Then we can jump back on this, to get just to kind of talk about it, see what we're going to do and stuff like that. But this is going to we're going to really address this on the meeting on Monday. So that's I think that's when we're really going to want to hit this out of the park, I think. So especially that hero arm thing, we want to do that, do a GoFundMe for that. So okay, so anyway, that's where we are with the petition. You see, we got we're closing in on 178,000, so that's a good thing. And of course, Avatar: Way of Water, that thing has made over $2.3 billion in 4.5 months. So it's kind of like Charlie says, man, that thing has made money. There's no doubt about it. And for Disney to be losing money or not making much money after that, that's pretty amazing to me. That just tells me how crap their other movies have been. Not crap from a content standpoint. I just think people are starting to get burned out on Marvel a little bit. I think, it's just Marvel.
Definitely. That's why I look at a new direction.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, if you haven't seen Avatar: Way of Water, you go see that thing. I mean, it's still in some movies in various places, but it's on, I think we're definitely on Blu-ray. I don't know if it's on streaming yet. It may not be on streaming, but
it's not.
It's definitely out on Blu-ray.
Purchase. I saw it for the sixth time in IMAX last weekend. It was great.
Oh, cool.
After some drama, though, when it started, the whole screen was red and 3D was messed up, so I had to run out of the screen and go and get the manager.
Yeah.
And she ran off to fix it. It took like 20 minutes, and we were all sitting there for ages in the silence with a red screen.
Yeah, Panic City. If you're running the cinema.
Yeah, she looked really stressed out. The manager lady. She was like, I felt really sorry for her because the cinema needs an upgrade because obviously these cinemas don't get much investment because they're going down the pan. But
yeah. Well, anyway, man, Avatar is a super movie. I mean,
brilliant.
It really is. What is I think the Rotten Tomatoes scored at 79 on the critic score, I think, or something like that. But what's the audience score?
I just saw Guardians of the Galaxy debuted at like 90%. So I just laugh because the critics are so weird.
Well, yeah, they are, but I think the audience score is way up there for Avatar. So, I got to where I just don't pay attention to the critic score. I mean, seriously. I mean, it's, if people like it, it's going to be good, for them. I don't care what people's opinions of it are, but anyway. All right. So anyway,
I'm on the page now for Rotten Tomatoes Avatar, and the audience score is 92, which is great, same as Alita.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then they have, for audience says, they have a summary where it says critic consensus and audience says, and they put Avatar: The Way of Water story is predictable, but the visual effects are so spectacular that hardly matters. So even on that, they have to like add a skew, like, oh, the film sucked, but it's just got good visuals.
Yeah.
I hate the people that wrote
what was the
they're a bunch of bastards.
Yeah. What was the critic score? Was I right about?
Yeah, it was 76. I think you said something like that.
76. Okay. Yeah.
Which is still fresh.
Yeah, I just don't pay attention to that. It's kind of like Alita started out at 32, and it, after
33.
everybody started loving it so much, it came up to 33. Rather, it came up to 61. So, and its audience score has always been strong. It's been 100. It's been 92. So
yeah, although they'll try to say that that's fake somehow, but I can prove them wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, hell with them. Okay, guys, I guess we can go ahead and get right into the video, into Creek's video here. Basically, what this is, let me set this up. This is, you remember here about 2 months ago, I did that little stream where I kind of read that story,
Yeah, you had a story. You made a video.
And, it was, yeah, I made a video of it, and it's got voices in it, and and images like it did before. I did get some very constructive criticism on it from Lee, and I appreciate that. There's some areas in it, that I could probably have improved a little bit, but the story, I mean, I got to where I watched the story, and I'm going, wow, because when you do something, when you put something together, sometimes you don't really watch it because you're so familiar with it, and you just don't want to. I've already seen this 100 times or whatever. Because when you edit something like this, if people don't realize, when you edit a video, it is not simple. You could edit a 3-minute video and it takes you like 2.5 hours to do it. I mean, that's how intense it can be, just making changes to it to make sure it flows and stuff like that, and make sure you get all the transitions and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. That's right. It's tedious, but for me, it's fun. I like doing it, I know my brother and I, who I think is in the chat somewhere, we talked about that today, about
hi, Creaky's brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, of course,
Creaky's brother.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's right. Folks call me, friends and colleagues call me Gary V, as opposed to Creek, obviously, and they call him Wayne V. So anyway, but anyway, I like putting this story together. It was fun writing it, and even though there's some things I might want to change, about it and do kind of a re-upload and stuff like that, or there are some things I'm going to want to change and re-upload it, but the story is pretty neat, I think. And I'm saying it from a biased position, but this is kind of one of the things that they could get into an Alita third movie type thing. Now, I think the second movie is going to be, if they do what the Creek wants them to have both the Motorball arc and the Zerkerpan arc in one movie. And that's going to be a 3-hour movie if they do that, But think about it. They kind of did that with Avatar. Avatar was a little over 2 hours, the first movie, and the second movie was 3 hours. So, they can do that with Alita. They got enough content to do that with Alita.
Oh, I'd love a 3-hour, 20-minute Alita sequel.
Oh man, it'd be great, wouldn't it? Oh man. So, yeah. So anyway, let me set this up. Alita. This is some time after she was in Iron City and that kind of stuff. And one of the things I think Lee said or alluded to was I'm using Iron City, as opposed to the scrapyard, because my story is a little more truer to the manga than it is the anime, So, but hey, here's my point. Hey, it's my story. So, and I kind of wanted to make it in the vein of the movie too, because I want that sequel. I'm pushing this sequel, and it's going to be a movie, not a manga. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's only got like one dark area in it. I think one little dark panel or something. So it's not too bad, Okay, so anyway, you guys ready for me to play this, I guess?
Yeah, I think I'll take screenshots from the movie whilst I'm listening.
Now,
The video I'm making
feel
with
free to talk.
with the score.
Yeah, feel free to talk during the movie, and if there's something we want to kind of mull over, I can pause it, for sure.
How long
And,
is the
we'll
video?
go
Mull
from
over
there.
Alita.
It's only about 15 minutes, a little less than 16 minutes long. So,
Okay.
and we could pause it. All right. Here we go. Alita, Into the Badlands, a Battle Angel fan short story, part 1, by yours truly, Creek Indian, Alita Army. Forward. This is a fan-made story that is not intended for commercial use. It was made solely for fun. Most of the characters portrayed in the story are owned by Disney, James Cameron, and Yukito Kishiro. This story is not connected in any way to the owners. Alita has been in Zalom's Toon program for a few months and is searching for a group of mercenaries working for Nova. During her search, Alita hopes to locate Nova when she finds his mercenaries. She leaves Iron City in search of Nova.
A single figure stands on a small hill and gazes at a stark, desolate landscape. Alita studies the landscape for a few seconds, then begins walking down the hill toward a dilapidated structure 1/2 kilometer away. The air is hot and heavy without even the slightest breeze to offer any reprieve from the heat. Every step she takes stirs up clouds of dust. Alita reaches the structure in about 5 minutes, thoroughly surveys the area, then breathes a sigh of disappointment. There's nothing here but some fragments of torn metal, broken glass, and rusted machine components. Someone had camped here, but not for quite some time. After searching for months, still no sign of the mercenaries working for Nova. Her one promising lead has turned to dust.
Shouldn't we make camp here tonight?
A voice over her comlink said,
It's been a long day.
No, Lou.
Alita retorted.
I want to keep moving.
Okay.
Lou responds.
But it will be dark in a couple of hours.
Though frustrated, Alita continues walking west toward the distant mountains. After an hour of walking, Alita sees a small farmhouse about 1 kilometer to the northwest and begins walking toward it. As she approaches the farmhouse, a man comes through the front door holding a shotgun and asks,
"What do you want? I don't have any food."
He exclaims.
I don't want food.
Alita responds.
I'm looking for some men who may have come through here.
"I haven't seen anyone."
He exclaims.
"Go away!"
Are you sure about that?
Alita asks.
I really need to find them.
She continues. The man looks her over.
"Are you a bounty hunter?"
The man asks.
No.
Alita answers.
"Then why are you looking for them?"
The man counters.
They have information I need.
Alita responds. The man looks over Alita again.
"Okay, 4 men did come through here about 2 months ago headed north, but I haven't seen them since."
Anything else?
Alita asks.
"There's a town about 20 kilometers north of here.
The man says.
They may have gone there. Now go away."
Thanks.
Alita answers, turns north and starts walking. A farm with no food, Alita thinks. Now that's unusual. Daylight has turned to twilight and has begun turning to night. Alita finds a spot with an old wrecked car suitable for a campsite. She makes camp and starts a fire.
Alita?
Lou asks.
What is it, Lou?
Alita answers.
When Mr. Eisenberg returns, do you think he'll make me your operator one day?
Lou asks.
I don't know.
Alita responds.
I hope he does.
Lou says.
Do you like working with me, Alita?
Lou asks.
I guess so.
Alita responds.
Do you think he will?
Lou asks.
I don't know.
Alita answers.
But we must accept what Mr. Eisenberg decides.
Do you like me?
Lou asks.
Yes.
Alita responds.
But I need to get some sleep now.
Okay.
Lou says.
Good night, Alita.
Good night, Lou.
Alita replies. Alita spreads a blanket beside the fire, lays down, stares at the stars for a few moments, and falls asleep.
We don't belong anywhere, except together. Please.
Okay.
Jump!
Alita suddenly springs up to a seated position and screams.
No!
Are you all right?
Lou's startled voice screams through Alita's comlink. Alita composes herself for a few seconds and replies.
Yeah, I just had a bad dream.
Do you need a few minutes?
Lou asks.
No.
Alita responds.
I should probably get moving.
And begins gathering her belongings.
What is the name of that town the farmer told us about?
Alita asks.
Calumet.
Lou answers.
It's a village about 15 kilometers north from where you are now. Do you want to talk?
One of the things I guess that Lee had suggested that I was really sensitive to, but I got some other feedback on it, was that the narrator kind of breaks in during the conversation a lot. And after I put it together, I said, I thought about that, and then of course Maxie said, no, it's okay. So, I kind of left it, so.
Yeah,
anyway,
it was grating a bit, but I got kind of used to it. It's really cool with the voices.
Yeah, the voices are all AI.
AI.
There's two voices that I voiced over. I'll point them out when we get there. Okay. Now, if you want me to pause and let's talk about it a little bit, we can do that too. So don't feel don't be bashful about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to talk
Lou
about.
asks.
I'm just listening.
No.
Alita answers as she begins walking.
Why not?
Lou answers.
Might help to talk about it.
Just a boy I knew.
Alita answers.
But I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Lou responds.
You should reach Calumet by midday. Sure you don't want to talk about it?
Lou asks.
Lou!
Alita barks.
Okay.
Lou replies.
I just worry about you, that's all.
I'm fine.
Alita says.
Let's just stick to the mission, okay?
Okay.
Lou responds. Alita continues walking north for several hours and reaches an overlook. She can see a small town in the distance.
Is that Calumet?
Alita asks.
That's it.
Lou answers.
It's a small village of less than 100 people.
Alita proceeds down the hill toward the village about 2 miles or a little over 3 kilometers away.
Please be careful, Alita.
Lou advises.
The barjack is known to be in this area.
I will.
Alita responds as she continues walking toward the town.
I hope it has a place where I can get some water.
Each step Alita takes toward the village stirs up dust, a lot of dust.
A lot of these small towns have bars or saloons.
Lou remarks.
But I don't know about water.
Even cyborgs need water, Alita thinks. Finally, Alita enters the town. Alita walks down the main street, which is more of a dirt road than anything else, where she sees a building on her right with saloon printed near the top.
Good.
Alita says.
Maybe I can get some water in there.
Please be careful, Alita.
Lou warns.
There aren't any Centurions way out there in the sticks.
Good.
Alita responds.
At least this place is not all bad.
As Alita enters the saloon, she sees 2 men behind the bar. One of them is washing some glasses, and 4 men sitting at a table on the left.
May I have some water, please?
Alita asks the bartender.
Yes, miss.
The bartender says, smiling, and pours some water in a glass.
Thank you.
Alita says politely.
You're welcome, miss.
The bartender answers with a smile.
On the house.
Alita takes a sip of the water, which to her amazement is cool and refreshing.
What's your name, honey?
One of the men at the table asks. Alita ignores him.
You know, young ladies as pretty as you shouldn't be way out here all alone.
The man says as the other 3 men laugh. Again, Alita ignores them.
They could get into a lot of trouble.
The man says as the other 3 men continue to laugh. Alita drinks the last of the water and politely thanks the bartender. The 4 men get up from the table and approach Alita laughing and surround her.
You know what I think?
One of the men quips.
I think you need our protection, and we should get better acquainted.
If you get too close to me,
Alita says as she turns to face the men.
You'll die young.
Hey.
One of the other men remarks.
She's tough.
We'll see.
The first man says as he draws a pistol.
On your knees, bitch.
The man starts to point his gun at Alita. Within milliseconds, Alita twists the man's arm, slices it and his right leg off with one swing of her Damascus blade before he can pull the trigger. As the other men move to attack her, she jumps straight up, swings her blade and relieves 2 of the men of their heads. As she drops back down, she grabs and violently twists the 4th man's head, killing him instantly. The first man is laying on the floor, screaming in agony, blood gushing from the stumps where his arm and leg used to be.
What was that, Bloody?
I was saying you needed like a crack sound effect for the neck breaking when she breaks.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. Yeah.
I love the dramatic music you've got for the action.
Yeah, that's something I didn't have before. I didn't have any music set to it, and all that music is non-copyright, so I'm not going to get us yeeted here by playing this. So, but on that one panel, I wanted to kind of describe just how effective or how efficient a fighter Alita is. You know, in basically 3 moves, she killed all 4 of those guys. So, you know, and as you'll see, the bartender will say about how long it took and all that stuff.
Please don't kill me.
The injured man pleads.
Please.
Then his eyes glaze over, and he dies.
Alita!
Lou cries.
Are you all right?
Yes, Lou.
Alita answers.
I'm okay.
Alita looks at the men on the floor, turns to the speechless bartender and says,
I'm very sorry about this. Do you have a lawbringer here?
No.
He says,
I'm sorry
There
about
isn't.
the furniture.
Thank you for getting rid of those thugs.
What's that, Angelus? Not the furniture?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess she didn't mess up any furniture, I guess. Of course, she kind of bloodied the floor, but you know, yeah.
Who were they?
Alita asks.
Some guys who came here about 2 months ago.
The bartender replies.
They've been terrorizing the town and pushing people around ever since.
Were they barjack?
Alita asks.
No.
He says.
I don't think so.
Did they say anything about why they were here?
Alita asks.
No.
He answers.
They didn't. I'm just glad they won't be bothering anyone anymore.
They may have been the men we were looking for.
Lou remarks.
Ah, crap.
Alita answers.
Where did you learn to fight like that?
The bartender asks.
The whole thing was less than 2 or 3 seconds.
In the military.
Alita responds.
I've never seen anyone move as fast as you did.
He says.
What do we do now?
Lou asks.
I don't know, Lou.
Alita answers.
Wait a minute.
The bartender reveals.
I do seem to remember them talking about meeting someone here.
Do you remember who they said they were waiting for?
Alita asks.
No.
The bartender answers.
But I think it was someone important.
Did they say when?
Alita asks.
No.
He replies.
Could be Nova.
Lou says. Alita nods and turns to face the 2 men behind the bar.
What's your name?
Alita asks the bartender.
Scotty.
The bartender answers.
And you?
Alita asks the other man.
Chuck.
The second man answers.
What's funny about that whole thing there where she's meeting those 2 bartenders, Scotty was actually my late stepfather, and Chuck is a friend of mine that lives in Florida. So I put them in there. You know, I originally had my stepfather's picture in there, but you know, I was telling my brother, I said, you know, I mean, he'd be good as a bartender, but he was been a little old, you know, to start up any kind of friendship. I think like we're going to see a little bit later on with Alita. So, you know, I was a little, you know, it might be a little creepy or something, you know. So I changed that. Those pictures you see there are AI. So, you know, they're not real people. So, I mean, that's pretty amazing, I think.
Nice to meet you both.
Alita says.
I'm Alita.
The motorball champion?
Scotty asks.
Not anymore.
Alita answers.
Can I help you clean this up?
No.
Scotty says.
Chuck and I can handle it. I really do appreciate you getting rid of those thugs.
Scotty continues.
Would you like a place to stay for the night?
You don't have to do that.
Alita responds.
It's the least I can do.
Scotty replies.
Thank you.
Alita replies.
It's upstairs, second door on the right.
Scotty says and hands Alita a key. Alita starts upstairs.
Breakfast is at 8 o'clock.
Scotty says.
Thank you.
Alita says as she looks back smiling, then goes up the stairs. Alita walks down a short hallway, enters the guest room, collapses on the bed, then falls fast asleep.
Thank you for saving me.
I love you.
Alita wakes up sobbing lightly and hears a voice on the radio.
This is Radio Chaos.
Are you okay?
Interrupting, Lou asks. Alita pauses and replies.
Yeah, just had a bad dream.
As she turns off the radio.
Is there anything I can do?
Lou asks.
No.
Alita responds.
I should probably get up and go downstairs.
Alita gets out of bed, cleans up, gets dressed and composes herself.
Maybe that bartender Scotty will make you a wonderful breakfast.
Lou says.
I think he's kind of sweet.
Lou!
An embarrassed Alita gushes. Alita is greeted by Scotty as she descends down the stairs.
Want some breakfast?
Alita smiles and replies.
Thank you.
The bar has been completely cleaned up of the mess Alita made of the thugs she dispatched yesterday. Alita sits at a table farthest from the door at the end of the bar and immediately notices a big man with long hair sitting at a table in the corner near the door.
Guess who that is?
Scotty lays a plate with eggs, vegetables, potatoes, and a glass of water before her and says,
"We don't get many cyborgs in here. I hope this is okay."
It looks wonderful.
Alita replies.
Told you he was sweet.
Lou giggles.
Lou,
Alita whispers, giggling,
please.
then composes herself again.
Who is that at the far table?
Alita asks.
"That's Ben.
Scotty replies.
He's an Indian. He comes in here every few months."
Could he be the one those guys were waiting for?
Alita
But
asks.
is he a Creek
No.
Indian?
Scotty says.
But he is
Yeah,
bad news.
that's right.
He's a bounty hunter.
Do you think he was after those guys?
Alita asks.
I don't think so.
Scotty says.
But you can never tell with Ben. I told him what you did yesterday.
Alita politely nods and eats her breakfast, then says to Scotty.
That was so good.
I am so glad you enjoyed it.
Scotty says.
And I'm really grateful for what you did yesterday, Alita.
Alita smiles at him and Scotty returns to the kitchen in back of the bar.
I told you.
Lou says emphatically.
Lou,
Alita whispers,
please stop.
then giggles innocently. Alita then glances over at Ben and notices he is looking at her without any change in his facial expression. Alita gets up from her table and walks over to the imposing figure in the corner.
May I sit down?
Alita asks. Without changing his facial expression, he motions to an empty chair.
The bartender says your name is Ben.
Alita says,
I know who you are.
Ben replies, cutting her off.
I was in the Kansas bar the night you broke the pain.
This guy named after me.
Alita and Ben stare at each other for a couple of seconds.
That's right. What do you want?
Ben asks.
I was tracking some mercenaries.
Alita
Is
responds.
Ben the guy in the picture on the right?
I heard you found them.
Ben replies, cutting her off again. Alita and Ben stare at
Not
each
quite
other for a
accurate.
second, then Alita
Sorry.
asks.
Yeah.
Did you know them or who?
No.
Not far
Ben
off.
answers, again cutting her off. Alita gets up and says,
What was that, Bonnie?
I was just saying, not that far off. My pecs aren't quite as impressive.
Yeah. Well, the creek is not exactly like that either. I mean, I'm kind of big, but I'm not ripped like that.
Sorry I bothered you.
and begins to walk back to her table.
Alita,
Ben says, causing her to stop momentarily to look at him.
I'm pleased Doc Ito was able to repair you.
Thanks.
Alita replies, then returns to her table. Scotty, who had returned from the kitchen and observed the encounter, sits down by Alita and says,
Ben doesn't talk much.
That's one of the things I like about him.
Alita replies. Scotty asks,
Would you like anything else from the kitchen, sweetie?
No, thank you.
Alita replies politely. Scotty gets up and returns to his station behind the bar.
That Ben is really intense.
Lou says.
That's another thing I like about him.
Alita answers.
I did some research on him.
Lou says.
His Indian name is Demon Seeker.
He's interesting.
Alita replies.
What's the plan for today?
Lou asks.
I want to go out and scout the area.
Alita answers.
Get the lay of the land before that guy those thugs were waiting for gets here.
Good idea.
Lou responds.
I'll do some more research on this Ben Demon Seeker bounty hunter guy.
Alita turns toward her new bartender friend and says,
Scotty, I'm going to take a look around for a few hours.
No problem, sweetie.
Scotty replies.
I'll hold the room for you while you're out.
You're so sweet.
Alita replies amiably.
Thank you.
You do like Scotty.
Lou says, giggling.
Lou!
Alita whispers.
You're impossible.
Then giggles innocently. Alita walks toward the front of the saloon, looks back at Scotty, and exits through the door.
Well, what do you think, guys?
Yeah, it's cool. Have you changed much since we last read it last?
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, the basic, I guess, plot or whatever didn't change too much. You know, I made little changes here and there. One thing I thought I had changed that Lee had caught was where Alita said something, said Alita retorted. I should have changed that to something else, like Alita answers or something like that. And I think the whole thing where I guess where she's talking and somebody else is talking, the narrator keeps coming in. You know, I really struggled with that, whether to keep it in, you know. So, but I kept it in, and I think I am going to do another one it'll be a little while because this thing took me over 2 months to put together because it's not easy. You know, it's not easy doing that. I gained a real appreciation for how some of these guys, you know, come up with these scripts and they do like a pitch meeting. You know, I mean, I can imagine that takes a lot more effort, you know, and it takes a while to put that together, you know. So, and Ash Blackwind evidently liked it. I appreciate it, Ash. So anyway, that's that, I guess, in terms of the, you know, in terms of the whole thing there. So, and that's kind of one of the things I would like to see, a story, or at least a foundation of a story like that for Alita 3, Alita Avenging Angel, you know, because I think it'd be a bit soon for her to go into the Badlands in Alita 2, except maybe at the very end they could have some kind of ending, like almost transition shot from her going from you know, perhaps, you know, after she beats Zerkerpan or something like that, and then goes into the, you know, goes into the Badlands. I don't know how they'd handle that, what yellow door thing or whatever it is. I don't know how they would do that, you know. So anyway, that brings us to this. You know, what else could they do in the Badlands with Alita? You know, there's some ideas up there. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I just wanted to see her explore everything in the Badlands and have fun adventures and, you know, find romance, everything really. But I haven't read the rest of the manga, so could be anything.
Yeah.
Elite, the world is Alita's oyster, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in the next little video I'm going to put together is a couple of things I'm going to put in there, and of course that particular video is between the time. This is after Zerkerpan, you know, but before she gets the Imaginos body, obviously. And for anybody that's read Lee's his fan story, which is more than a short story, it's got like what, 24 volumes. So it's a really good
26
read. I highly
chapters
recommend
now.
Folks. 26 chapters, yeah.
Yeah, not volumes. It's not that big yet.
Yeah, it's not volumes, yeah. But you know, but Lee did a very thorough job, you know, really describing, you know, kind of the environment she's in and the situation, and has really good dialogue in it, I think, you know. So between Alita and Ito and Gerhard and Koyomi gets into it. And of course, his character is a fellow named Jason DeShane, you know. So in my next little movie, not movie, but story I'm going to put together, I'm going to work him in, you know, not as a character, because that's going to kind of, if Lee wanted to add some more later on, it might be a conflict, and I'd feel kind of weird doing it anyway. But at least a mention of him, you know. My thought was that Indian guy, Demon Seeker. By the way, in case you don't know, my Indian name is Wisdom Seeker. I considered putting that in there. I said, no, it's a little too close. So, but anyway, but you know, he's you know, he knows Ito, he knows Gerhard. And you know, if that's linked to Lee's story, then he's going to know Jason. So I'm gonna do something like that, you know, where maybe he says Alita, maybe he and Alita get into a talk, and he says, yeah, that, you know, Ito, Gerhard, and Jason are all doing fine, you know, or something like that. You know, might do something in those lines, you know. So. Now, for those of you who haven't read all of the manga yet, Vladi, one of the things that's going to happen is that she's going to be reunited with Ito in a way, because Ito has set up some kind of like a clinic or like a doctor's office or something. And I can't remember if it's out in the Badlands. I think it is out in the Badlands. And his nurse, I can't remember his nurse's name now. Angelus, do you remember the nurse's name? Ito's nurse? It's not Gerhard, obviously, but it's
Gonzo or something?
Kana.
No, it's not Gonzo. It's that's
I think it's
anime.
Kana.
Well, no, Gonzo's. Yeah, Kana. That's right, Kana. Yeah, that's right. So he is now this is the Ito, I guess, that Nova brought back to life, I think, and he's now working out in the Badlands, and he's doing his doctor thing just like he was doing in Iron City, from what I recall of the manga. I really need to read that manga again, so because I've kind of forgotten that. Another thing she does is that, you know, certainly she strikes up a relationship with Figure 4 and Chaos. Now her relationship with Figure 4 is pretty romantically intense. Obviously, it doesn't start out that way, but it ends up that way, you know. And she does have somewhat of a relationship with Chaos, but in my story, this is before she meets Figure 4, you know. So you probably got the idea that she thinks that bartender Scotty is pretty nice, you know. And obviously Scotty thinks she's really good because, for one thing, she took out those four you know, thugs, you know, and kind of saved him a lot of grief. But he, you know, by the end of the whole thing, he was calling her sweetie, you know. So you know, you got the idea that he really likes Alita, you know. So, and Alita starts warming up to him, I think. So this is before Figure 4. So anyway, these are some of the things that we could hopefully that we'll see in an Alita trilogy, not so much in the second movie, because the Badlands, I think it'd be a little too soon for her to get into the Badlands.
Yeah, but I want to get to Figure 4. That's the bit Rose is most looking forward to. Figure 4.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, Figure 4. I mean, that guy. You know, that's like I always say. I want Jason Momoa to play Figure 4. You know, because he is. I mean, he's built like Figure 4 in the manga. You know, he's big. You know, I mean, he's massive. You know, so I think he'd be a good Figure 4. But there's several actors that could pull it off, I think. You know, one time I thought maybe. I'm sorry.
I hope they film them back to back, 2 and 3, so that then they do get. Then they'll get to Figure 4. Well, Rosa will get to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Like earlier on, so going to wait another 5, 6, 7 years. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, how long did we have to wait for Avatar? 10 years or more? You know, what was it? 2009 that thing came out, I guess.
Mm.
And that's 2020 into 2022. We saw it says 12 to 13 years. So I hope we don't have that situation, you know, for Alita, you know. So anyway, I want to see her with Figure 4, obviously, and of course we get reunited with Ito. Now, I'm not sure, Angelus and Charlie, I don't know if you've read the manga or not, but Lee, I know you've read it. Does Ito remember Alita in the manga? I don't remember, and in the original manga, not in the Last Order. She does remember her in the Last Order.
You mean in specifically Last Order, or?
No, not in Last Order. In the original manga, you know, when he has that little shop, you know, or not shop, but doctor's office or something with Kana, you know.
Are you talking about, when after he erased his memory? No, he completely
forgets about her. Yeah, that's right. So he doesn't know her there. Now I know in the Last Order he remembers her somehow, because in
the Last Order he doesn't actually remember her. He just hears about the fact that he used to know her. And he ends up getting an offer from Nova to restore his memories, including the painful ones.
Yeah. Oh, look at here. Here's a good observation by Ash Blackwind. Fighting the clones. Yeah, that's the AR units. That'd be pretty cool. You know, and that's, if you remember in that story that I had there, that Lou was actually her operator. In the manga, she doesn't become Alita's operator for quite some time. But the way I set it up, because Bigot Eisenberg was her operator. But you know, in my story, he goes off to start creating the AR units or doing something else. So he temporarily lets Lou, you know, be Alita's operator while he's off doing this other thing, you know. So yeah, fighting the AR units would be a good thing, Ash Blackwind. That could be something that maybe comes up in Alita 3, perhaps. You know, that'd be kind of a cool thing, I think. I'd like to see her fight Erica too, because that could happen in the Badlands, you know, because Erica's still alive. I mean, she gets killed. Alita kills her during the Mars Chronicles, but, you know, she's a necro soldier, you know, eventually. So Alita fighting Erica, that'd be kind of interesting, I think. And of course, fighting the Barjack. Fighting the Barjack would be when she meets Figure 4, you know, so. So any thoughts, guys?
No. Sorry, I keep sort of turning it down a bit when I'm like, oh, I don't really want to hear this yet.
I was just thinking to think we'll see something even better than Avatar: Way of Water in the Alita sequel. It just boggles the mind that Cameron just pulls this out of his ass, sort of thing.
She's going to look so good. The VFX, like, her face is going to look so amazing.
I swear, for the love of God and all that is mighty, that if she doesn't get at least a nomination, I'm going to do something drastic.
But they did. Well, Avatar: Way of Water did win the Oscar for visual effects.
I think the Alita sequel will get nominated for VFX at least.
I think so. Yeah,
because it's
John
totally
Landau
different
said,
now that it's under Disney. They'll have more. They'll be campaigning for it, whereas they weren't for the original Alita. That was probably the main reason she didn't get nominated, because Disney didn't campaign for it.
Yeah. Well, I think Disney also had. I'm sorry.
No, like you said.
What's that, Angelus? Oh no, I'm saying I think Disney might have more pull politically in the movie industry than Fox did. I think. I don't know.
There was no Fox.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Well, first of all, even if Fox had remained, is what I'm saying, I'm not sure they would have had enough pull to do it also. And guess who just joined us from north of Sydney in New South Wales, Australia? Maxie. Good day, Maxie.
Hey. Oh, hey, Maxie.
Maxie.
He's got to put the lung that he coughed up back in again.
Yeah. Maxie, you're muted. I think Maxie's muted, or either that or his audio's not working. Maybe you need to connect that audio to your browser there, that microphone there, Maxie.
I did.
Oh, you did? Cool. There you are. So how are things in New South Wales there, Maxie?
Oh, a bit glug.
A bit what?
A bit.
Oh, I think his audio cut out.
Yeah, cut out in the middle of the word.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I think you pressed the mute button too quickly.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe he did have to cough up a lung there. I don't know there, Angelus.
Oh,
so anyway, guys, what else? Yeah, it could be internet. That's right. So this is what I got up there about what they could do with Alita and the Badlands in the third movie. What do you guys think? I mean, what else did I miss something up there?
I think so.
Lottie just wants to see. I think Lottie, you just want to see her going on a lot of adventures, right? You just
yeah. I'm not fussy.
A throwdown with Zerkapan.
Yeah. Well, that would be in the sequel, I think. You know, they do the motorball arc first, where she, does her thing with Joshagon, and then after that, of course, Alita sees, Zapan sees Alita on the television, or the telly, as they would say, and he goes nuts, and he kills Sarah, and he, by accident, but he still does it. and then he gets the berserker body and turns into Zerker Pan. So they probably won't make him 20 feet tall or more like they did in the movie, like they did in the manga, rather. But they would probably make him like super powerful, like Alita was when she had the berserker body, you know. So, what about the sequel, guys? What do you want to see in the sequel?
Alita. Sorry.
Whatever
sure.
Cameron and Rodriguez want to give.
Yeah.
I just want to see the latest sequel.
Yeah, Yes. I want to see Rosa interacting with Jason Momoa. I'd love to see that.
Jason Momoa. I don't know.
That'd be great. Well, or whoever Figure 4 is going to be. You know.
Well, at least,
has he done many? Is Figure 4? Does Figure 4 tell jokes and stuff?
No, but he is kind of, I guess you would say he's not the brightest bulb in the bunch.
Oh, really?
No, he isn't. But he's got a good heart, you know, and he's really wants to do the right thing, and he's always doing the right thing, you know, and he's got the same kind of persistence and determination that Alita has, you know. But I don't recall him telling a lot of jokes. He doesn't do that. Now he does kind of, you know, he has Alita tied up and she's hanging from this long rope in the manga, you know, and he's trying, like he's going to give her food, and then he takes it away from her. She tries to bite it and he eats it, you know. Lost Link, the AR units stand for Alita Replicant. And there's 12 of them. AR6 eventually becomes Zex, which is KranberriJam's favorite character, and Rotten's. It's their favorite character. And AR 11 and 12, Elf and Swerve, they become teammates with Alita on the Space Angels in the Zot tournament. So yeah, I think it's Alita, Zazie, Zex, AR 11, AR 12, Elf and Swerve. And was there a sixth one? Angelus or Lee? I can't remember. I don't think there was. I think it was just those 5, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. So anyway, Lost Link, that's what those AR units are short for. Alita Replicants. And what they are is they are units that I guess Bigot Eisenberg had built or something like that. They're androids, actually, is what they are. And they have a lot of Alita's mental engrams, or whatever you want to call them, imprinted, and they have brain chips, you know, and they're not like Alita. Alita's got a human brain, and you know, in that part of the manga. And he created the AR units, and he wants to take Alita out because she's kind of a pain in the ass to him. I think she's hard to manage, and she's got a mind of her own. Of course she does. We all know she does. And he says, okay, she's too much trouble. I'm going to make these replicants, and we'll get our job done with these replicants, not her. So he sends the replicants after her, I guess. And, you know, she actually kills AR2, I think, didn't it? Something like that. AR2 almost kills Alita, but Alita ends up killing AR2. And of course, Zex, you know, AR6. I don't know what happened to all of the AR units. I don't think it's spelled out in the, you know, in the manga itself.
Zex kills a lot of them.
Yeah, Zex kills a lot of them, but I don't know how many he kills. You know, I know he wants to be.
I think basically
him and Alita, I guess.
Elf and Wolf end up being the last 2 he doesn't kill.
Yeah,
I think he pretty much kills.
He ends up teammates with him, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he ends up as a teammate. And those are the 2 bunny, I guess they call them the bunny girls or something like that. You know?
Yeah, they end up dressing up in bunny suits in Last Order for some strange reason.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And they have berserker bodies too, don't they? I can't remember.
I think they just have tuned bodies.
Tuned bodies, okay. And then Yeah, at that point in the manga, Alita's got the Imaginos body, I guess. Imaginos 2.0 at the beginning of that, and then she ends up with 2.1, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Zex, he has the Fizzleroy body, which is probably better than the tuned body, I think. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, what else? Are you missing? Am I missing anything? I'm trying to drag this out of y'all. What?
Well, I'm not sure there's a whole lot else that can be added that we haven't gone over quite a bit previously.
Training montage with Gilda.
Oh, yeah.
A what? A what?
More training montages with Gilda.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I guess in the Badlands, that would be more of a flashback situation. Probably it'd be a flashback situation too in the sequel, except where she has that karate studio, you know, that she's doing, where she's training, you know, the citizenry or some of the people in martial arts. You know, where she have like 4 or 5 students or something like that. You know, which takes me back. So. I guess she's teaching them how to fight. That'd be kind of cool in the sequel to see her as a martial arts instructor, wouldn't it? That'd be kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, if y'all can't think of anything, I sure as hell can't. That's about all I can think of there.
Is Maxie alive still?
Yeah, he's having some internet problems, I guess, but I did hear him say something. Damn. He did say that Zex killed just about all of the AR units.
The
yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The idea of the Alita video game came up earlier, and the Badlands would just be so great to explore in that.
Yeah. Is the video? I don't know if. Chaos, you know, if Chaos is on, he could tell us. I don't know if in Martian memory, if they go into the Badlands or not. They might. I don't know. Okay, so now we can get back to what we were talking about before the video. How about some of that recent chatter about the Alita sequel?
Yeah, it's looking good. We were starting to lose hope a little bit again after that we didn't hear anything since Avatar. But then he came out with that and it was new, so and then Rodriguez posted the throwback picture of the premiere, which Landau shared with what was it? He said, "Can't wait for to do another one" or something. So clearly they're gearing up for it.
Yeah, they're pushing it. I would think, you know, Cameron's got a lot of pull. I know Charlie can attest to this. Disney's they're having a lot of financial troubles, but I think still Cameron still has a lot of pull. Now, what may happen is they may say something like, "Okay, we'll revisit doing an Alita sequel maybe in 3 to 6 months or something like that." They may do something like that.
Yeah, I think Iger said they're going to put more responsibility on creatives. So if something of theirs fails, then they're not going to do much with them. But I think because Cameron has this massive success, they don't really have an excuse to not do more with Cameron. And obviously, Alita's already got his foot in the door of being a franchise that's ready to get more from, and he's a proven talent. I don't know if they consider this, but Alita did have a lot going against her when she came out, and a lot of it is their fault. So surely that Cameron can make them do it. And I think that seems to be that they will succeed.
Yeah.
And like I was saying before, it's Disney's fault as well that Alita didn't get an Oscar nomination. And that would have helped get a sequel too. That's another reason why it's their fault that Alita hasn't got a sequel yet.
Yeah, I bet you can't get them to admit that, though.
Obviously not.
Yeah.
Facts are facts.
I'd like to point out something that And it has some truth to it, and we sort of have to like admit it to ourselves. But something that a mutual friend with me and Vladi mentioned is that, you know, we can't say for 100% certainty, 99 perhaps, that the talk is technically going on, because quite literally all we have is faith running for us at the moment. But I'd like to direct everyone to remember, like at the very first Avatar 2 premiere, when Landau literally came out in public and says, I don't want to put a time frame on it because you guys will hold it against me. So if you take that at like as objectively face value, he's basically saying he won't say anything unless he knows he can do something with it. But we already know this about Landau and Cameron and Rodriguez. They won't say anything unless they know they can, you know, back it up, metaphorically speaking, and literally speaking too. So so when you see signs, quotation marks, like this, yes, technically we can only speculate, but god damn, the evidence itself is on our side. And the bolster that it gives to our faith in that they are actually doing something about it, you know, that when they do say something, they mean it. Like what Rosa said, what Landau said, you know, practically the only person that hasn't said anything is Cameron himself, but you know, he's busy shoving Avatar and now quite possibly Alita down Disney's throats now. So, you know,
he's also gearing up to do reshoots for Avatar 3, I think.
Yeah,
that too as well.
Are they shooting pickups now, or what? What are they doing?
I think they said in summer, so soon.
Oh,
fairly
okay.
soon.
So I guess in summary, don't like it. There is truth to it, and you know, like I said, we sort of have to look at it, but at the same time, don't ever lose faith, especially in the what I call the big three, because you know, at the end of the day, yes, you know, it is speculation, but at the same time, yes, they won't say anything without having the faith in themselves, even that they can back it up. And well, as I like to say, this isn't any normal director and producer and whatnot. Like this isn't just like some random studio. This is Disney. This is Cameron, Rod, Landon. You know, these are the penultimate in heavy hitters in Hollywood. Still, you know, I know Disney's on the decline, but you know they still can throw some pretty knockout punches.
They're a $180 billion company. Like they're never going to go out of business or anything.
But yeah, so long story short, don't lose faith. If anything, just let this bolster it instead.
Indeed, well said. I don't know why you lose faith now anyway.
Well,
after the recent.
I certainly don't. In fact, I've probably lost a few kilos from all the like. I'll confess, I fucking cried. I got a little bit emotional. I might have had the.
Yeah, I had a bit of a cry as well. I was finishing work, and that's when Landau came with his thing, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's actually finally going to happen." When he said, "Can't wait for the next one," it was obviously like, okay, they're obviously meaning business now.
Well, they probably have already talked to Disney. You know, they may have even done a pitch meeting by now.
They would have.
You know, I mean, it could be that. Yeah. Well, it could be too, Maxie. That Disney says, well, you know, they're amenable to it. They say, well, bring me a pitch, you know, and let's see what you got.
And
they might
I believe
have done
pitches
something like that as well.
I believe they involve some form of script, or I think they call it a treatment, whatever fucking jargon that they use.
Yeah.
They have to say, all right, well, at the current projections, you know, these actors are free. We've had a talk with them. Rosa Salazar, cough, cough, as claimed.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, you know, a lot of things have to fall into place. But me and ST, for example, have been Like I've been going through all the actors, upcoming lists, and
Yeah,
hardly anyone has. Yeah, hardly anyone has anything. Like the only big thing is Michelle Rodriguez is in Fast and Furious 10, and even then, that's already done and dusted sort of thing. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So,
she's in Dungeons and Dragons too. Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about? You're talking about future projects?
Yeah.
Well, that's not. She's finished that and Fast and so she doesn't have anything coming up. What are you saying?
Correct. Yeah.
No,
Okay,
she
that's
doesn't.
good.
Yeah, she's already.
But Jai Courtney does.
She's
have
already
a couple
finished,
of things, right?
Yep. Jai doesn't have
I don't
much. Edward Norton has even less. We'll definitely be getting more Nova screen time, more Flan.
Yeah.
Oh, Flan sales are probably going to go through the roof.
Flan.
Or what they
that's or that version of Nova that likes Flan at least. Maxie, you got your audio issues settled there, bud?
Hang on.
I don't think he does.
I'm probably still having internet issues. I'm just every now and then looking in private chat.
Yeah. I really do want to watch Dungeons and Dragons though, because Michelle Rodriguez is in that. Now that's done, obviously.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's not going to interfere with anything, but yeah.
It is a fun little film, like especially in the context that, when I was 14, 15 years old and I saw the Mortal Kombat movie for the first time, that was campy as hell. That had cheese coming out the edges, but I loved it. And I loved playing the Mortal Kombat games on the consoles at the time. I've always been an avid D&D player. Always, had my preferred classes and, had my little bag of dice and stuff like that. So naturally something like this would. And, it's not like they tried to make it into a more serious tone like Avatar or like something so campy that, you can start predicting who'll do what sort of thing.
Okay.
One thing
can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's my VPN because I just turned it off, and now apparently you can hear me.
Yep.
Sometimes they can have like server issues or something.
Yeah.
Maybe your VPN, Maxie, has something against Creek Indians. I don't know.
Maybe it's just decided to stick the boot in this morning for no apparent reason.
Probably.
I've been trying to say for the last 5 minutes that the thing that I think is the most interesting is that there is a treatment. There is storyboards. They've got a story because they can't pitch it without a story. So
without a story, that's right.
That conversation that Landau had, it was a couple of years back now, where they said, what would it take to get the sequel off the ground? He said, well, it's going to take 6 months to write the script. So they've spent some of that time at least coming up with the overall sort of what they want to put in it. And I'm hopeful that we're pretty much on the money with Zerkapan and we're going to see some of the great moments that are coming up in the manga on screen eventually.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that really encouraged me that Landau said was the fact that the technology, what they have learned on doing Avatar Way of Water, is going to make Alita 2 even better. It's like he was saying that as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I'm going, whoa,
ladies and gentlemen.
Can you just imagine seeing her face with a close-up at the very first shot? Just like this is art. This is like as far as humanity has come in terms of like technology and art. And I'm just going to blow everyone away.
Let me tell you that scene where she wakes up in Ito's daughter's bed, where they do a close up of her face. To me, that was stunning. I can't imagine what it's going to look like if they can improve.
I know. Like, how could it possibly get better than that?
God Almighty!
Seems impossible.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So
why we can't have a Disney Plus series.
Yeah, we can. You know,
no,
they
wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, they can't do it as part of the whole storyline, kind of like Alita, you know, going through 3 movies. But they can have like kind of like they do with the with Star Wars, like the Mandalorian and the Bad Batch. And,
you can tell they're not like stories. Proper $150 million works of art.
That's true, but I, you know, God, I still would like to see a series, though. I mean, they could do a series of Alita playing in the second league, you know, between the point that, you know, she loses Hugo and when she comes out on that.
I don't think we need to even have this
presentation stand.
Landau, obviously, they're all gearing for a movie, so
yeah. Oh, I know that. I know. But you remember James Cameron said he'd be open to a series, but he's not going to do a series.
What's the exact quote for that?
I don't remember. But it was I remember like that. Max.
He said
Maxie I bet Maxie does. Yeah, go ahead, Charlie.
Cameron said he's open to a series on Disney Plus. He's considering it.
What was did he? I can't remember the exact quote.
He said
if he was specifically referenced, I thought he was talking about generally how there are possibilities for general stuff, but he didn't say specifically Alita. He didn't say specifically that was for Alita.
He said in terms of Alita, he said he says that this is the new Disney Plus, the idea of, he said he liked the idea because there's so much of Alita story to tell that the Disney Plus, let's say 6 or 8 episodes, would give him a chance to tell more of her story. He talked about how Avatar 2, I guess he shot like 9 hours of Avatar 2 and he cut it down to 3. Yeah. He said that's probably what I have with Alita. I'd like to do 9 hours on Alita, but if I did it on Disney Plus, he says he's considering that. But he said the problem is the Disney Plus budgets are much lower, so the quality would be cheap.
Right.
So he said if I could get Disney to sort of up the quality, I'd be willing. But he says I don't want to go a cheapo. Do you know how sometimes they come up with cheap, where you know what I mean? The sequel looks really cheap and it'll hurt the brand.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Enter Rodriguez, because I always said that, you know, he's got the Midas touch when it comes to that sort of thing, and he literally milks every dollar for what it's worth. I mean, just look what he did with Sin City, Desperado, all of his work. Just look up his resume, and you think, like, some of the things he achieved with the budget that he had was just fucking blows their little minds.
Well, the interesting thing is that the story about him getting together with his band to do the soundtrack for Alita, and they're like, no, you've got money for somebody to come in and do the soundtrack for, and he's like, I do. It's like I can get someone else to do it.
Nothing against Rob Rod, but I'm glad. Nothing against Rob Rod, but I'm glad that he did, because bloody Junkie XL, my God.
Mm-hmm. I hope they can get him back on board.
What?
They will do, surely. He did that tweet a year ago, didn't he?
I kind of like what.
Yep.
At the tone, please leave an error message.
Oh God, you need to mute your mic if that's Charlie. I think. I'll talk over it. What was I saying? Oh, Junkie XL. He was the one who gave us some hope, like an Alita Day or Alita Anniversary a year back.
No,
so he's definitely
during the release, I believe, because it was like very early February.
Yeah, it was for the anniversary. Yeah.
Well, I kind of like what Charlie said a while ago about that. He shot 9 hours of Alita. I could sit through 9 hours of Alita.
Oh yeah, like anybody he couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Have an intermission every hour and a half though, or something, or every 2 hours. Say.
Intermission. I've got my not precariously, but my computer system is right next to my the ensuite for the master bedroom. Obviously, that has a toilet, so, and I've got wireless headphones. So it's like I'll be sitting on the loo, no pun intended, and I'll still be sticking my head out watching it. And once I'm finished, I'm done, and doing my thing, flush the toilet paper, and that I'll just get back up again and. Yeah, well, you get the rest of the idea, but I wouldn't take my eyes off the screen, basically.
Well, I guess other than me, the other two Americans on the stream, you do know what a loo is, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Nice. You need to be able to talk convict. So.
Outhouse.
Yeah, that's right.
Commode.
Yeah.
The shitter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, what else is there, Maxie?
The bog.
Oh yes, bog.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got. I tell you what, I've been really excited over the past week about seeing on Twitter, and about what Landau said, and and Rodriguez retweeting it and stuff like that, tweeting that premiere picture. I mean, guys, this is moving in the right direction. Now, it might be moving slow, like Charlie suggests. It might be moving slow, but it is moving. So, as opposed to 2 years ago, you remember, 3 years ago, it wasn't moving. It wasn't moving very, very far at all,
Well,
so
all the pundits, including myself, were saying that Avatar needed to make some money before they were going to give out any more money for a Cameron project. So. He's done the deal. He's made the dough. He's the only one making money for Disney at the moment. If they don't listen to him, they're just stupid.
And a lot of it.
Guess which option I'm going for.
Yeah. Well, they might be stupid, but they're still making money, and hopefully they'll keep making money. So
I don't really think they're quite smart enough to figure out what is actually making them money for some reason. They seem bound determined to ignore what's actually making them money.
Well, the first temptation a lot of times of management when they start getting in tough economic times is to cut costs,
Mm-hmm.
And to a degree, that's reasonable. But if you're losing money, cutting costs is a short-term solution. It's not going to help you in the long run, unless you start doing something else that makes money, And man, just think of all the freaking source material they got with Alita. I mean, my God, they got 38, 40, 45 volumes of stuff, that they can use. I mean, oh my God, Yeah. Well, Vladi's not alone. The Creek hadn't read all of it either. I still need to read volume 8 of Mars Chronicles. So I'm still behind there on that one. So
on touching on what you said, they can't do that with Cameron though. Cut costs because he won't let them. It's like you want this level, you want Avatar water quality. You got to spend the moolah, baby.
And I'll make you the money. I'll make you the money. You spend this money here, you invest in this, I will make you the money. Here's my track record.
I think the big problem is the history with Disney and Alita, in that at the time that it was released, it was on the other side of the fence. It was competition. And they didn't want it to go well because they wanted to push the price of the merger down.
Yeah, that's right.
And that whole thing with Captain Marvel and blocks of 100 seats being bought up and nobody in the cinemas. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Disney was trying to pad their numbers.
Yeah.
And it was up directly against the tail end of Alita's, cinema time. And Alita was hanging on because of us, and they wanted it to go away. And there's that history of, well, this thing didn't go well, you know, the whole narrative of, oh, it was a flop, rah, 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 because it was on the other side of the fence. But now it's on their side of the fence, but they've got this sort of bad taste in the mouth because it was originally not on their side of the fence. So I think there's a little bit of a sort of a stigma around it. But
animosity, you reckon?
Yeah, and animosity. Yeah, I guess that's a good term for it. But I guess they just have to go, okay, here's the numbers. Here's the guy who's making us all the money. He says, okay, now I want you to invest in this a sequel to this movie. And they're like, oh yeah, that movie, no, that movie was like on the other side of the fence. We don't want to do a sequel to that. And he's like, no, you will. You will be doing a sequel to this movie because I said so, because I make you all the fucking money. and they're like, look, well, think about it.
Well, they should be.
He's working on them, you know, just getting them to give in, kind of thing. So I think there's a little bit.
Well, also they should be paying attention. Disney should be paying attention to actuaries on this, not on just gut feeling. On, you know, oh, this was a Fox movie. I don't want to do a Fox movie, you know, stuff like that. I mean, that's stupid, in my opinion. You know, I mean, you got projections, you got estimates, you got a proven track record from a guy that can make you money. Come on, man. You know, I mean, this is stupid. It's a no-brainer. You know, just do it.
I have a question for you guys. Okay. Yeah. One thing I have done is both Deadline and Hollywood Reporter have a tip thing. If you go to their site, it says you have a tip. So about a few months ago, I sent, hey, you know, Alita's making money. Can you please follow up? I sent them a tip. And I sent them my spreadsheet showing that Alita's making a profit. And I gave others, you know, a bunch of arguments. No response. Now, I know that they get lots of tips. Do you know what I mean? And they probably figure, well, Alita's not that, you know, how do I say it? I'm not that big of a thing in their mind. It's like if it were Star Wars or something, or Marvel Cinematic Universe, they'd say, okay, but I think it's kind of I also sent him another tip a few weeks after that. Nothing. I sent it to Hollywood Reporter. I thought, now that this has come out, to send them another tip. But I was told on a Reddit board, they said, don't keep doing that because they'll just think you're a fanatic and ignore you. I mean, should I try again with Deadline or Hollywood Reporter? I say, hey, John Landau just came out with, you know what I mean? Or should I drop with Screen Rant, or should I just leave them alone?
I would probably do it one more time and include as an attachment to your post that that thing that Landau said, or maybe that's what I would do, I think. But I wouldn't belabor it.
I you're a nutty fan and just ignore the darn thing. And I don't want to. But that's why I thought maybe if I could ask one of you to do it, it's a different person. It's not. But then again, they may not even remember me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they won't. I think the big trades like that, they sort of just, I don't know. I think they're more controlled, if you know what I mean. Like they sort of, when the studios want something written about, then they get written about.
Okay, because the reason I mention this is Deadline and a report. Hollywood, they are, how do you say, the masters of the scoop in Hollywood. They have lots of contacts, and if they're interested, they usually get the scoop before anybody. You know what I mean? That's the reason they're so popular, because they have good scoops. And if they were interested, they would contact Disney and they would do a little report like we just talked to them about, you know, John Landau, and they would give a brief status, like saying that they would give the answer. But I don't know whether. I mean, so far I've had no luck with them.
Well, yeah, they won't report anything until they hear something official. I'm pretty sure.
I'll do it, Charlie.
Okay, go. I mean, do you think it's a waste of time or
nothing
what?
more? No, I don't think so. I mean,
it doesn't hurt.
I don't think
worth a shot if you want.
Yeah.
The reason is if Deadline does a report, that gets attention. Everybody reads Deadline. You know what I mean? I was told that at the most of the studios, every day they check Deadline for what's the latest. If that pops up, that would get, you know, help. What's the word? Put it on. Disney would more focus on it again. But then again, James Cameron, I think, is making them focus on it anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he
is. When Landau announces something, you know, they listen because it's Landau.
Yeah. And if Cameron says something, they listen for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Angelus, you've got ready for the news for tomorrow, right? But did Screen Rant come up with something? Was there a Screen Rant?
Screen Rant was the main
there was a Screen Rant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Screen Rant's on top of it.
Indeed.
I'm guessing that's why Deadline haven't touched it, because Screen Rant's another sort of like Toyota and Holden. Like, some of you guys won't know what I'm talking about, but or like in banking terms, like Westpac and Commonwealth. But like, yeah, because they're another sort of big party sort of thing in terms of digital reporting. Maybe that's why they haven't. Because remember, Deadline were the ones that were on it last time when Landau first talked it at the Avatar premiere.
Yeah, he talked to Deadline.
But this time it was Screen Rant, and then, funnily enough, Screen Rant's tweet got nowhere near the amount of traction that Get Fandom's tweet has got. It's kind of amazing. But...
yeah, some accounts are just get way more traction, whatever they put out. Some just have more engagement.
Yeah, I think one thing I could do is I could send a DM to Mike Reyes to see if he could approach Cinema Blend to see if they would do a story.
Yeah, surprising Cinema Blend haven't jumped on it, but they've been quite busy.
Yeah.
Most likely because I've already done that.
Yeah, well, I still send him a tickler, I know that, so I can still do that. We can talk about this Monday too, by the way.
Well,
okay, Charlie, I'm gonna send a tip to Deadline. It can't. It's like Blotty said, it can't hurt. So
yeah, just reference the Screen Rant. You know what I mean? So they can see the Screen Rant article.
Yeah. Well, what I'll do is I'll put the link.
Yeah.
It's be easy for them to click on it, and they'll see it's a legitimate link because it's going to be a Screen Rant link. So, I wonder if they've got like 1,000 of those already.
Well, yeah, I was told they do get every day quite a few. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's usually producers of various TV shows are trying to get what's the word, buzz for their projects. So they get all kinds of stuff. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of it, I was told, is dirt. Like so and so. Like, remember that woman who just got fired at Disney on the Star Wars?
Yeah.
The thing is, why did she get fired? What did she do? And they get tips on that kind of stuff. The skinny on what happened. And but I still don't know. There were different stories about why she got. Oh, they followed up. She got a big settlement out of Disney. Did you know that? $2 million.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Oh shit! Yeah. Wow.
They speculated that she had some dirt. She filed a lawsuit on unlawful termination, and they were afraid of what she would say, so they settled to keep her quiet. That's Deadline.
Well,
so I mean, I guess that's kind of a sexy story that they love.
$2 million. Well, $2 million to Disney is a drop in the bucket. They don't really,
Yeah.
It ain't $2 million wouldn't be a drop in the bucket on anybody in this stream, would it? So, okay, Charlie. Well, that's what I'll do. I'll send a tip to Deadline myself, and I'll put the Screen Rant link, and then I'm gonna send a DM to Mike Reyes to see if he can approach his management to do it, because he can't just start writing something. He's got to get it cleared through his management.
One other suggestion, okay? You had a talk with Alita Livestream, the screenwriter. You think you can get her to come back and talk about it again? Because she may know what's going on.
Look, I don't know,
Maxie. What do you think?
I don't think that Leda or anybody else involved in it can say anything because it'd be all NDA.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a point.
They got NDAs going. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
But the only time that you can relax and celebrate is when it's officially announced by either Landau, Cameron, or Rodriguez that it's on, that that's greenlit. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm not counting my chickens until one of the three of them announces it to the world. So
I'm not counting my chickens until I'm sitting in the cinema.
Well, I mean, I will be celebrating when it's announced by one of those three people. So
yeah,
I feel like it'd probably be Landau because he's the one that's dropping all the we're on it things.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like Landau's going to be the one to say it's greenlit. We're going.
Yeah, it could be, but he may want to give it to Rodriguez because it's sort of his thing. He might give him that win. You know what I mean? Like he could even announce it when he's promoting Hypnotic, maybe, because he's going to Cannes for that, which seems a bit unusual for a movie like Hypnotic to go to Cannes.
Well, I was surprised that Rodriguez went to Japan for the anime awards. I thought,
we thought it was going to announce there.
Because I thought he might announce a Disney Plus animated series or something.
Yeah, he didn't announce anything.
Yeah.
It did just help his reputation.
The 9th and the 9th coming up in a couple of months.
What is? Then the sneaky bastard.
The 9th.
Sorry, what was that, Maxi?
We've got a few more months and then we'll be at the 9th.
Alita Day.
Alita Day. Sorry, yeah, Angela kept talking over you and you said 9.
That would be a good time for an announcement.
Yeah.
And it would not surprise me if it took that long. I mean, if you listen to the stories about the original green lighting of the first movie, they had 3 goes at it, and they were saying that the last go was like their last chance, and they managed to get it through, but with a reduced budget. So, that was for a unknown property. Certainly, Cameron was backing it, but he wasn't lined up as the director, and they were a little bit. We would have dropped $250 on Cameron, but we'll only drop $200 on you, Rodriguez. For the budget.
Yeah.
But it's got a track record now. It's in the black. Cameron's just come off a huge win. I think he's got a little bit more push power, so I'm hoping for a bigger budget. And with the improvements that they've made with Avatar 2, it should cost less to do more. So, I mean, you've also got the issue of inflation. So, it's going to cost more to do less. But, it should sort of even out. And of course, there's the Alita Army that never fucking shuts up. I mean, those guys are just so annoying. They're just every fucking week.
And you know what?
Everybody's asking
we're gonna stay fucking annoying until they give us that goddamn sequel.
That's right.
To put it bluntly, we are still gonna be annoying. Hell with you guys. We're gonna we
I mean,
we got our objective, and it's what.
Exactly. The moment the green light is announced, there's going to be a tweet storm. There's going to be it's going to be trending the fuck out of everything for a couple of days.
You know what? Alita
already is.
Alita sequel is trending right now, as a matter of fact, and we're not even pushing it.
Is it?
Well, I mean, you get a trend
right now
with a few thousand.
Yeah.
Yeah, or at least this morning it was. I don't know if it is right now or not, but it was this morning.
We trended for a couple of hours.
Yeah, it's true.
This morning.
Yeah. And here about 4 or 5 days ago, it was trending again, and we weren't pushing it.
Well,
so there's some.
I haven't got my finger on the button for what's happening in Hollywood. I mean, is there any big movies on the horizon? Like, has any big movies been announced recently that they? So I mean, you got a Fast and Furious every couple of years, but that's just like background noise these days.
Well, I know the Flash is coming out next month. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is coming out.
But they're all already talking about projects that they're announcing. So
didn't Disney show off a new sci-fi movie, a comic, whatever it was, CinemaCon, like a new IP or something? Who was the filmmaker?
They did announce a new Star Wars trilogy is coming. They're bringing back Rey. They announced that it's in development.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. Right. Excited for that? Not.
Yeah, let's
there's a new one from
let's hash over some other shit. Let's hash it.
Well, what I'm saying is if the market is saturated and there's lots of announcements, then there's something like Alita 2 would be lost in the noise. But if it's quiet and they're looking for something to report on, then this is now big news. So I mean, Cameron's coming off the back of a huge win, for himself and for Disney, and they're interested in what he's going to do next. And Landau's been dropping the hints quite strategically. So I mean, this is now something that's quite big. And like I said, and Creaky has said many times, there wasn't an Alita Army last time. Now there is. So we can make a whole lot of noise. And I think I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't know how many times it's going to take them to, smack Disney about the head before they give up and just say, okay, you can make your fucking movie. Now go away. But I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm sort of holding on the edge of my desk going, okay, I'm not going to get too excited. I'm not going to lose too much sleep. I'm just going to be cautiously optimistic. So,
Go away.
Well, I think what we're going to be doing, what we're going to talk about on Monday when we had that meeting, I think in my opinion, we need to have some kind of organized effort to do some of the stuff we want to do. Now, I think the Alita Army is that you were saying, Maxie, that we won't shut up. Well, I think we're going to continue not shutting up. Yeah, I think things like Blotty came up with the the hero arm doing another one of those. Yeah, and we're going to talk about that on Monday too, and then do stuff like participating in Comic-Cons, that kind of thing. So because I know one thing I wanted to do was to set up a booth down here at the Colorado Springs Comic-Con, but all the booths were taken, so I couldn't.
You got to get in early for stuff like that.
Yeah, you do. And I mean, I know how to set up a booth. I've done it several times. So I mean, not for Alita, but I'm sure my talents in that area could translate over to Alita easily. So.
Are we wrapping up? Because I've got to go to bed now. It's getting really late. I might just head off now, actually.
Okay, well, you can, Bloody. Does anybody want to talk about anything else?
I think we've covered everything. Like, it's all looking good. Great, John Landau with his message to us and everything. All good.
Yeah, afraid I gotta get going too.
All is good, lads. All is good.
All right, Lee.
I'll see you later.
Yeah.
It's been really needs to go and have sweet Alita dreams.
Yeah.
See ya.
What were you saying, Charlie?
I say this has been a really great week, though. So let's.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Let's keep it going. Let's keep that thing going. Let's annoy the shit out of Disney. Let's keep doing it.
Because we haven't been doing that for the last 3 years.
Yeah. Well, I do know that. Well, I do know that. When we did our organized tweet here about 3 or 4 weeks ago, remember one of the things we said, we wanted you to put @Disney in your tweet. If you get, a kind of a grassroots type of spontaneous trending tweet for Alita sequel, they won't be that organized. They'll just have Alita sequel on there for sure. But if Disney is getting this on their timeline, they see it. They're more likely to see it, so. Okay. Well, anyway, I think we've kind of beat this one up enough, because we're going to talk about this a lot tomorrow on Radio Chaos, because Angelus has got a lot of news lined up. I am so sure, because we had a great week in that area, So. Okay, guys. I guess, did we miss anything? Maxie, you missed the video, didn't you?
I know. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I made a lot of changes to it from the version that I put up on Google Drive. So, it's going to, guess when it's going to premiere, Maxie?
I suspect it's going to premiere right when the stream starts.
That's right. Yes, I'm a whore. Well, the creek is a whore, so that's why it's going to start. So,
right.
So anyway, it was fun putting that thing together, Okay, guys, I guess we didn't miss anything. You see there that Alita loves her Uncle Creek, and she loves the entire Alita Army, really, because we're about to realize our dream of getting that sequel. So that's going to be a cool thing when we do, I think.
Oh, she is.
And there's our queen. Holy cow, is she nice looking? There's no doubt about it. And she is a great a great actor, and I would love to see her interacting with Figure 4 as with Jason Momoa in that role. That would be the coolest thing. You know, little 5'3", you know, Rosa, and 6'2" or whatever he is, Jason Momoa. That'd be the coolest thing ever, I think, you know. And of course, we got our other two girls there. We want to see them come back as Screwhead, you know, for sure. And I think they could do it. I think we've talked about that on that interview we had with Elle, you know, and Elle, you know, her head's still intact, her core is still intact, so she could come back. So we want to see them come back as well. So
seems fair.
Okay, Maxie, are you or Angela? It's going to be the. Oh, you need to go, Charlie. Anyway, Maxie, are you which one of you guys is going to be the host tomorrow?
I might step back into the role now that my lungs are staying put. So.
Oh, you're not coughing. You're not coughing up lungs anymore, Maxie.
Oh, just a little bit of clearing every now and again. Not like losing my cookies every 5 minutes. So,
well, at the very least, I'll be there to.
Oh yes, well, Angelus will basically be doing news for like half of the stream or more. I think
probably. Yeah.
Other than that, I will lead the charge.
Yes.
I will leave him to take us through the news with his aplomb. I mean, he has lost sleep this week, poring over all the news reports. So you know, he's our news reporter.
So anyway, being a cyborg, what do you think it would be like? That's going to be a nice stream right there.
I think it's timely too because you know, with all this stuff happening in the news, we may well have an announcement very shortly about more cyborginess.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. So talking about what it's like to be a cyborg, and of course, if anybody who's listening now would like to come on and talk about what they think being a cyborg would be like, we would love to have you as a guest. So let us know if you want to come on, or we'll just say in the chat when you're on there that you want to come on and talk about it, and we'll sling you a link. Always happy to have the Alita Army on.
Oh, for sure. Well, this, you know, like you always say, Max, on the Radio Chaos streams, and the same thing is true of this stream. This is the Alita Army streams. I mean, if it wasn't for the Alita Army, these streams wouldn't be going. So
exactly.
You know, it's kind of like I said before. You know, the first movie when I'm going to say it, when the first movie came out, there was no Alita Army. And there certainly wouldn't be a Radio Chaos stream or an Alita live stream if there was no Alita, for sure. You know,
that's right. So we'll take it back to the early days and talk about what it's like to be a cyborg. And I was wondering, Creaky, do you reckon we'd get away with showing the short from the DVD about with Japan talking about being a cyborg? You think we would get away with that without getting
maybe? I'm not sure. You know, what I might do is here's what I could probably do. I could get a copy of the video and upload it as a private. You know, and if it says there's no issues, then we won't get yeeted, because I had music on this stream when I was playing because I added music to my little story, you know. And we didn't get yeeted, you know, because I'd uploaded it already and there was no copyright issue.
Right. So if you upload it as a private and it gets through the filter, then it's good.
Then it's good, yeah. And then we can show it, you know. And what I'll do is I'll have it on my computer, because it's kind of wonky if you try to play a video off the internet to stream back over the internet. It's kind of gets a little weird sometimes. So probably what I do is download it to my, you know, to my computer, and then we'll see how that goes. So yeah, here's what X-Man 570. You might get away with it, or you might not. Well, if we can't. If it does flag it as a copyright claim or something like that, we won't be able to do it, you know. Although I would say sometimes you upload something as a copyright it has a claim on it, but they don't stop you from playing it. It's just you can't monetize it, you know. But I think I think Radio Chaos is not a monetized stream anyway, no monetized fake YouTube channel anyway. So, you know, it's probably all right. So, but anyway, I'll check that out, Maxie, because I'm going to be the stream manager the next 2 weeks because that rascal Tony's going to be in Hawaii and I'm jelly.
I think it's going to be funny if the sequel's announced and he's not around. He's going to be like, shit, I missed it.
Yeah. Well, I bet you he hears about it, though. Probably. I don't know. Will he even be on the internet? If I was him, I'd be on the beach every day, or, you know, going to the North Shore or something like that, or going to Hanama Bay or one of those places. You know, I don't know if I'd even be on the internet. So okay.
A channel called Yusuf Hassan has got Alita's World, the story of Alita. You know, the sort of the DVD, the Blu-ray extras about Alita's backstory in the movie. That's on there and it's available. So I'm presuming if I can search. Well, it's Alita Battle Angel, Alita's World, story of Alita. That's not the one I'm after. The one I'm after is the one where Zapan's talking about being a cyborg. So
yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
But I'm presuming if the first one's up there, and it's got 500,000 views, so I'm presuming if the first one's up there and it hasn't been copyright struck, then the other one should be there somewhere. I just don't have the right name for it.
What's the name of the channel?
You don't have a name for it. Yusuf Hassan.
Yusuf.
Yusuf Hassan.
Yusuf Hassan. One word? Has he got a space in there? Or what?
It's two words. It's probably the guy's name.
Okay. Hassassan. Okay, I got it. I'll go look at it and download it and then try to upload it again and see what it does.
But that's not the right one. That's the backstory one. There's another one that's about being a cyborg, which if we can show it during the stream would be a good talking point. I mean, even if we can't use the audio, if we can just play it in the background with subtitles or something. If we can't.
Well, you do know that probably the intro that we play now, you know, with all of the images going across the stream, that's copyright.
Of course it is.
So we should be able to get away with it. But I know the video you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's the one Ed Skrine is doing the narration.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah.
I know. So that's
the
one. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. But that would be a good kickoff point.
Okay, well, I'll see what I can do about that. Okay, anything else, Maxie or Angelus on this one?
Quietly confident.
So
holding my breath somewhat.
join us for this one. This is going to be a fun stream, I think.
Yeah.
So.
And Angelus has got his chiefs of paper lined up, ready to report on all the happenings.
Well, I hope
pretty much.
Well, I hope he has Chrome tabs, not sheets of paper.
Yeah, well.
So
I'm old school. What can I say?
Yes, you're old school. Holy shit!
Yeah. Wow, you're so old school. You've come back around to the beginning again.
That's right. So tune in, I guess, to Radio Chaos episode 161 and learn what it's like to be a cyborg.
Creaky's the one that's going to do the schooling.
Yeah, he'll be the cyborg first.
Yeah, that's right. I told my brother today, which I told my brother today, which by the way, he's in the chat. So, but anyway, that when I die, I want them to cut my head off and put it on, you know, and eventually I become a total replacement cyborg. Hopefully they won't make me a socket soldier though. I don't want to do that. So,
well, if you become a socket soldier, you're pretty much screwed.
Yes. Oh my God. What a dad joke.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Why is this image here? Well, I'll tell you why, because I like it and I'm running the stream. The Creek runs the stream. Angelus too, though. Angelus a key player here. Oh, we got a cyborg on the stream.
Yeah, speaking of the cyborg, yeah. My alarm's going
a 1% cyborg, yeah. So, well, to paraphrase Grishka, I'm only here for our girl, and all of us in the Alita Army are only here for our girl. And we've got some really good news this week, so we're going to want to keep that thing running, so. Okay, so I guess it's time for the old call to action, I guess. That would be on my count of 3, unless you guys got any final thoughts.
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Film sequels, baby.
Sequels, baby. All right, so we'll see you next week on the Alita live stream and tomorrow on Radio Chaos. Ta-ta.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita live stream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.